everybody, welcome back. It's another week of seeing us. And of course, this is Raise the Pop. Now, we have all the latest in entertainment news for you. But first of all, who are we going to talk about, Helmi?
We're talking about Mad About English. Yes, the critics have been raving about it, and folks I know who have seen it love it. What is it? Well, watch this clip.
I love English because it's very, very nice.
My name is Wendy. I learned
Oh, my friend, welcome to Beijing.
Mad About English is a documentary about the struggles of the Chinese to learn English in the run-up to the Beijing Olympic Games. Directed by a Singaporean and a former broadcast journalist, Lian Pek, it follows several quirky characters as they attempt to grasp a complex language in a relatively short time. The film opened a day before the Olympic Games and has received favorable reaction from critics and moviegoers alike. One of its strengths is that it casts a sympathetic but never condescending eye towards its subjects. I spoke to Lian Pek when she was in our studios recently. I think a famous director once said that if you are a film student and you're new to the industry and you don't know what to write or shoot, just find somebody really interesting and just shoot it. You're very experienced, and of course you don't need those tricks, but you found like a whole collection of very interesting characters to feature in your film. How did you find them?
You know, it was a huge trawl. I mean, basically I went to a lot of the libraries. We went to the community centres where they have English lessons. You know, we went to the Tata Young Park, you know, where they have an annual, you know, Speak English festival, you know, and so the first character whom I found was actually Jason Young. And he's a 74-year-old. He's been studying, you know, English for the last 7 years since, you know, Beijing won the bid to host the Olympics. And once I sort of found him, I kind of found the other characters because they all kind of belong to this little English universe.
If they ask me where can I get to the forbidden city, I will tell them you can take the bus, blah 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 blah.
Of course, when you do a film like this, there's a danger of seeming condescending towards the Chinese, but that was not what came across. Was there anything specifically that you were trying to avoid in terms of tone or?
Well, I was pretty much in awe of the Chinese people and their spirit, you know, because when they really do something and they really set their hearts and minds on something, they really get to it.
Stand! My poor English. I want to change my life.
You know, one of the things that I took away from the film is that as a Singaporean educated in English, I take it for granted that, you know, that I can speak English, and I often don't realize that around the world there are many, many people who are actually struggling with the language, especially if they didn't study the language, you know, at a young age.
Yeah, I think we do take our English for granted. And I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that, you know, maybe the standard of our English in Singapore might be slipping, you know, because it's been with us so much longer and we think, you know, Singlish is okay as long as, you know, we understand each other, it doesn't matter. But if you look at the film and you look at how the Chinese have picked up their English in the last 2-3 years, you know, the pace at which they've picked it up, it's pretty astounding. So if our competitive advantage as Singaporeans was because we were bilingual, you know, as you say, from a very young age, you know, learning the language, that's exactly what the Chinese are doing, and they are very hungry. They don't take the language for granted, which is why, you know, they've done so well economically, and now, you know, when they get the language and they master it, it's going to be phenomenal, the sort of change you're going to see.
Hey, what do you want? Forget about it. Do you understand? What's up, man? Put it down.
I love that policeman. They actually featured him
What
a
do you
couple of
want?
times.
Put your gun down.
He can speak a lot of languages, you know.
He can.
Yes, he can speak like in Portuguese and like Spanish.
Yeah,
and
mostly phrases that he learned along the way.
Correct.
It's not like the entire language.
That's kind of cool. Like he has this whole like really American accent. Put your gun down. Like,
But I love the documentary. It's really, really sweet and heartfelt. You know, you think that like a documentary maker goes to China and films these people who are trying to learn language, it might look a little condescending, but it doesn't. It comes across as a very faithful examination of what people are trying to do there. So it's hopeful, it's warm, it's poignant, it's funny. I really enjoyed it. And my friends have seen it too, and they really like it. So, have you seen it?
I have not yet, but I've seen snippets of it all over the place, actually.
You should.
So, yeah.
Good show. Very good show. So, well done, Lian Pek. We hope it does well at the box office.
I'm sure it will, actually. Well, even Stomp, actually, they have their own book about English as it's spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the second one is actually coming out. Thanks to popular demand. So yeah, you can stay tuned for that. Also, English as it's broken in a way related. So yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that she said to me was that China is really catching up in terms of
their spoken English.
Well, they make such a concerted attempt to learn English that
I think generally the whole Chinese the people are very hungry for a lot of things because they're only just opening up, so they're just like sponges. They want to get everything.
It's true, but her point also is that our competitive advantage of being able to speak English might soon be not such a big advantage, especially if China is going to master the English language.
I think that's pretty true. Well, anyways, we have someone who is in that region, in a way, to talk about next. Athena Chu, the ex-girlfriend of Stephen Chow, has opened up to the media about the fact that Stephen Chow had cheated on her. Now, this happened quite some time ago, but she only recently told the press that this is why they split about 2 years back. So what happened was, apparently while they were filming, she went over to his room, which he usually keeps open.
Right.
And she knocked on the door. She went in, and she didn't go in because it was locked. Usually it's always open. She was saying
because
he usually
Stephen Chow doesn't usually lock his doors.
He lets everybody go in.
Yeah.
And he took a long time to go there. When he opened the door, he looked a bit nervous and sketchy. You know, the whole guilty party feeling.
Okay.
Okay, so then she felt kind of strange and weirded out by it. What happened was she went to the bed and she touched the bed, and she said it felt very suspiciously warm, too warm for just if one person was lying down. And so she looked at him, and he started looking even more nervous. She went to the toilet. She tried to open the toilet, and the toilet door was locked. Okay. Right? So she looked at him, and I guess he kind of went pale, and she went, "It's not what you think. It's nobody you know, and it's not what you think." And she walked out. She told herself, you don't have to do this, and so she walked out. And
but how did she know? How did she know it's Karen Mok?
Subsequent media reports suspected it to be Karen Mok. Not that she knew it was Karen Mok in there or something, but I think media had caught photos of Karen Mok with Stephen Chow. So, people suspected, she might have been the third party at that point. Nobody's sure, but possible, could be, maybe. Either way, it seems pretty fishy to me. If you go in, you take a long time to answer the door, and then after that, the toilet door is locked.
Okay, well, Stephen Chow is a ladies' man, right? He's known to have had a lot of girlfriends. He's
in
never
the past,
settled
goodness
down.
knows why.
Well, he's a star. I'm sure a lot of women find him very attractive.
He's not in the top 10 earning for the Asian stars, in case you guys want to know, girls. So
women are attracted to funny men, and he's a very funny guy.
Okay, so if I were attracted to funny men, I probably would go for a Hollywood funny man rather than...
But I thought you were into Chinese guys.
Yeah, I am. But the Hollywood funny men have better... I don't know, Stephen Chow's too slapstick for me. I don't like...
see. Okay, a bit too LC for you.
I don't like slapstick. It's not my brand.
Okay.
Anyways, moving swiftly on, we have someone, instead of saying hello, says...
Tata, sawadi. Sawadi krap.
Yes, or Tata,
Tata.
Tata, but we're not saying bye yet.
Thai music superstar Tata Young has admitted that her relations with her fiancé Prem Busarakumwang has turned sour, and she has not been close to him for almost 4 months. Now, they have not formally cancelled their engagement, but they are staying away from each other.
Now, Tata told reporters that unlike in Athena Chu's case, there's no third party. But their breakup is mainly because they're both very busy and they hardly have time to find for each other.
A lot of people are breaking up because of that. Not because of a third party, but because we are so busy with our jobs and we can't
It's kind
She
of a
is
pity.
actually
Look
too.
at her. She's a really, really hot girl.
Yes,
You know, and
I love this song, by the way. Sexy, naughty, bitchy.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's one of the cuter songs, I guess.
It
Very
is.
catchy.
It's great.
The other really catchy one that she had after this was probably El Nino.
El Nino is good too.
Yes.
Anyway, Tata engaged Air or the boxing
Boxing
camp Prem last year on November 11th. Amid much fanfare, and there was even a rumor that she was pregnant because of her weight gain.
Oh,
But during the
you
past-
people are mean.
But during the past few months, the Gossip Mags reported that the relations have turned sour. They were no longer wearing their engagement rings and were not seen in public together.
Neither, however, had made it clear if they would end their engagement. I guess maybe because, they're both in the public eye. It's a bit hard, right? To just say, oh yeah, we're not engaged anymore. I think they're taking time off more than anything. And, well, think
But
about
frankly, I don't know what a singer has in common with a boxing champ.
he's actually not a boxing champ.
He is
He is the heir to the boxing camps.
Oh.
He owns the chain of boxing camps.
Right.
Yeah, so he actually is going to take over this chain of boxing camps. He's a
I
rich
see.
boy. Rich boy. Prem Bupara Wamka song.
Very good.
So, yeah, rich boy. Pretty good looking. So, previously she was actually linked with a Thai tennis star, Paparadong.
Oh, that's right.
Paradong.
Yeah.
Paradong Sri Japan.
So she has good taste in men.
High flying
Exquisite
taste.
taste in men.
High flying taste. Like,
High
she
flying
likes
taste.
a ka-ching. I think she likes a ka-ching. I think so. Well, that's just me, but we have somebody else to talk about who hasn't really been in the spotlight for a long time. And his band is going to have a concert in Japan, right?
That's right, with seven concerts.
7 concerts, and they were all apparently sold out. I was like,
They're,
pretty surprised. Right?
I guess
mean,
they're still popular.
they are still popular, but this guy is known as... Announce the name.
Vanness Wu.
You say it with such surprise. Vanness Wu? Question mark. Now, at first, Vanness Wu was seen at the autograph session in Taipei of his book, The Daydreamer. Yes.
It's a pictorial book and an autobiography, I suppose.
Did he draw
Talking
the
about
pictures?
No. It's a picture book.
Okay.
But, there's stuff about him and his career and his life and stuff like that.
Well, he hasn't appeared in a public event for almost a year, so his fans from Hong Kong and China were all over and down there to support him.
He showed his appreciation by greeting them in different languages.
That's not too hard if it's just Chinese and
Yeah.
Cantonese.
And maybe
Lei hong
English.
mo, ni hao ma.
Anyway, his good friend Aisha was also there to support him, and she brought him a bottle of tonic wine known for its health properties. However, Vanness reveals that he has sworn off sex and alcohol for a year because of his Christian beliefs.
Yes,
Yeah.
Well, Vanness was previously seen, last seen in a way, in a public appearance at an MTV Asia Awards, and when they received the prize for F4, he actually that time he received a prize for a solo album, and he thanked God, and he made a pretty big speech about it,
Thanking
thanking
Jesus Christ.
Almighty God, that kind of thing, and so he seems to have made a little bit of a turnaround and become a very good little Christian boy.
No, good for him. Well, he says he's sworn off sex and alcohol for 6 months now, and he's feeling really good about it. He thinks that it's a way of cleansing himself and purifying himself. When he has any sexual needs, he will pray to cleanse himself of his desires. I could never do that. Could you, Sarah?
Well, I wouldn't know, actually. I really wouldn't know.
Oh, you have been offered, not by...
I'm just not in a long.
That's right.
Long.
Okay.
So, but Vanness actually looks a lot skinnier now than he actually was in his last single album. That one, he was bearing his body and he looked all hunky and beefed up, and he's lost a lot of weight. So, not the same Vanness that I remember. His hair slightly shorter as well than the usual F4 length. Okay, but yeah, pretty cool.